My dear friends, together with our prayers for the safety of our brethren all over the world, particularly in Eretz Yisrael, and for the freedom of our hostages, and all of us who are hostages in this exile, let us give some tzedakah. As the pasuk says, Tzion b'mishpat tipoda v'shover b'tzedakah, Zion with justice, with Torah, will be redeemed, and all the captives will be redeemed through tzedakah. So we did tzedakah, we did prayer, and today, in honor of my mother's yahrzeit, Erev Tisha B'Av, I want to share with you a story, not just simply to tell a story, but as the Gemara says, ma'aseh rav. From a story we can learn a lot, something to emulate, although in happier situations. My mother, being a Holocaust survivor, at the age of 14, alone with her mother, but then her mother was torn away from her. Thanks to God, she survived 4 concentration camps, but throughout the Holocaust, my mother was mostly alone. So at the age of 14, she arrived from Belgium to France in a little village by the name of Pau. And there she found favor in the eyes of the local mayor, who took it upon himself to find shelter for her. He did tell her, though, that make sure that my wife doesn't find out of it, because she is a staunch Nazi supporter, and if she finds out that I'm helping a Jewish person, you and I are doomed. So discretion obviously is of great importance. He found her a farming family who took her in as their niece, and this is where she stayed throughout most of the Holocaust. Very respectful of her religious needs. She had her own utensils. She would cook her own vegetables, bake her own bread, and she would work on the farm. One day the mayor comes and tells her, I have just found out that in the next few days there's going to be a roundup. The Gestapo is coming to look for all the Jewish people, and you are being suspected of being Jewish. So it's best to go into hiding. Where am I going? So he says, I found a place for you. There's a nun over here, a kind person, and she's willing to save you. She's going to hide you in the monastery for the time it takes for the roundup, as they called it. And after that, hopefully you'll be able to come back to your present discreet place. He gives her the address where to present herself. Not knowing how long it's going to be, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, she took along a few bread, loaves, to sustain herself. She comes there, and indeed, that nun receives her very nicely, very warmly, very friendly, and immediately takes her into the building and walks her to a small little room somewhere in the building, very, very discreet place. Nobody can actually notice there is a room over there, and tells her, look, this is going to be your quarters for the next few days. Don't know how long it's going to take, but as soon as the danger is over, I will come and unlock the door from outside and let you go. But in the meantime, she says, since you're going to be alone, I brought you some books to read, so to keep you company. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. After 3 days, I think, the nun comes, opens the door, says, look, the danger is over, you can go home. Thank you so much. As they're parting, she's asking my mother, and how did you find those books? So my mother tells her, je les ai pas lus. I didn't read. Why? What did you do the whole time? Says, why didn't you read it? Says, because I'm Jewish. And I saw that these are very Catholic books, not for me to read. So what did you do all alone? She says, I wasn't alone. I felt God was with me. And I had my little book. My mother always had a little book of Psalms, Tehillim, with her. And I read this the whole time, and I felt very secure because God was protecting me. The nun then tells her, if I would have known that you would not read those books, and you hold on to your belief in your God that He's protecting us, I would not have saved you. And my mother looks at her when she's parting and she says, I guess that's what you call your kind of kindness. And with this she walked away. This is Holocaust. She's a single girl all alone. It wouldn't take much for that nun to go and report her to the local Gestapo. But my mother was firm in her beliefs, firm in her Jewish pride. And that's something to emulate. And with this Jewish pride, in Mirza Hashem today, we will merit to be in the Beis HaMikdash. And my mother, with all the other Holocaust martyrs and survivors, will be celebrating in the Beis HaMikdash.